Miksi tekijäsen niissä vatra? Ootko myyty sama? Oh, hi. Hi. You're early. Give me a second. Now that's better, isn't it? Good. So, firstly, if you were wondering what song I was singing, it's not out yet. But it's gonna be, and once it's out there, I'll make sure to put the link up there so you can listen to it. It's actually Salmon's first song coming out ever, so make sure to check that out once it's out. I'm not sure which channel it's gonna be on, but surely the link will be up there. So now that I'm ready to go, and did I even tell you what this video is about? I don't think I did. So today's video will be about how to, if you're planning on coming to Ireland. I had a few questions in the comment section on my earlier videos about tips about moving to Ireland. This is a horrible sentence, but okay, you understand. So I'll give you some tips that I had to find out myself, because I was kind of a groundbreaker, because I knew no one who moved to Ireland, so I really just went on my own. So I learned a lot of stuff and I'm ready to share it with you. So while I do that, I will be walking around the village where I live, kind of showing you around, just so the whole video is not about me lying on this bed, and my arms are gonna probably start aching soon enough if I stay like this. So let's go!
Dobar dan I dobrodošli YouTube kanal. What's the name? Black and Ginger, of course, that's the name.
Welcome to the center of the village. So, it's really not big. I think I showed you before. That pub is closed down at the moment. It probably will open again. That's a shop, and this is literally the only crossroad that we have here. So we're gonna be heading down that way to the river, but first I need to go to shop because he has some very good chocolate on offer, and I had one bar already today, but I'm kind of hooked, so I'm going to get myself another one before I go further. They are amazing. So I really hope the wind doesn't ruin the sound, because it's quite windy today. But I'll try my best to shelter the microphone. So today it's Tuesday, 28th of May, and the weather is 13 degrees. So as you can see, 28th of May, that's crazy for me, because coming from Serbia, it's like 28th of May. Like you can almost go and swim in the river already. It's that hot there, and I'm wearing this scarf here. But oh well, that's why everything is so green, as you can see. All right, so we're on our way to the river, which is that way. That's the river there, and we're passing the crash. This is like a, well, behind these bins, that's like a kindergarten kind of thing. That's where you drop your kids off before work, if you have them. Then there's a gas station here. Well, it's not open anymore, but it was until not so long ago. Now we're going over a bridge that's going over the Kings River, as you can see here. Wait, Kings River. I will tell you a story about why this river is called the King's River once we get to the castle where the king is actually buried. I'm gonna tell you the story, so bear with me, because it's actually kind of a funny story. Well, you shouldn't be laughing, but it's kind of funny, but you'll be the judge of that. So just have a look at the river. That's the first mill, we call it, and kids often swim there. Well, it's not a very good day out there. Kids often swim in this river. I tried to swim in it, and it's fucking cold. Like, I don't know how kids do it, really. So also we have a little cafe, so whoever says that Kells is insignificant village is wrong because we have a cafe as well as a pub. So it's not open every day, and I don't think it's open today, but it's open on Sundays definitely, and I'm not sure what other day. But you know, at least we have a cafe. You don't need to drink coffee every single day. So I'll start with the story how I got here and how I started my life off in Ireland. Now, my option is not an option for everyone because it requires you loving children and knowing how to take care of children. So if you're like not a child person, this is not really an option for you. But for everyone who is like at least okay with children, I came in Ireland. Oh my god, the sun is out! Thank you, universe! I came to Ireland as an au pair. If you're not familiar with the term, it's like a live-in nanny that, well, minds the children. So I was living with a family very close to Kells actually for 6 months. I was very lucky with the family I got into because they're just lovely people. I was minding little Ellie and Olin. Now they're not that little anymore because it was years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. 2. Let's not make it further than it actually was. So 2 years ago I came as an au pair. I was living with them for 6 months. I was minding the children. I was getting pocket money, which was great for a start for me, because first of all I met the culture, I met the way of living here, and secondly I had plenty of time to kind of try to find accommodation, find a job, which Kim, the mom in the family, helped me loads. Also shout out to Ellie and Olin, the little children I was minding, and without them all this wouldn't have happened if they weren't born. If you love children and if you know how to take care of children, I think it's a great way not only to move to Ireland, but really to any country, anywhere in the world, because there's like so many websites called, like I was using this Kangaroo Au Pair, but there's like so many websites where you can kind of make an account, and then families make an account, and then you kind of link in, and then you just pack your bags and go. So that's lovely, that's a way to do it. So that's how I did it. That's how I firstly got to Ireland. I believe there's loads of people dreaming about moving to Ireland. Probably Americans with Irish roots, like dreaming about moving to this country because it is like a beautiful country. It is a beautiful country, but you need to be okay with like cloudy weather. Today is actually perfect. Like today is very nice and it's not too cold. So Irish people would be thrilled with this weather, even though I'm like wearing a scarf and all. For them it's not a problem at all. So you need to be ready for a change of weather. So this is the weather, that's all. But the nature, the birds, like I'm sure you can hear the birds while I'm speaking in the background. Like I consider myself so lucky to live this close to just clear nature, nothing but nature. Birds singing, green all around. So this is literally, I live up there somewhere in that direction, just behind that tree I live, I think. So I just came around, but basically if I try hard I can get here in like 5 minutes, which is amazing. Like not a lot of people have the opportunity to walk 5 minutes and to get to this kind of nature. Like just have a look at this. Take a moment, take a deep breath and look at this beautiful green. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. So whatever way you find to get yourself into Ireland, I don't know your passport, I don't know your story. Once you're here, I'll give you a few tips. I can't give you tips on how to get your passport or how to get your visa or whatever because I don't know where you're from. But I say you can, if you really have a question about that, you can either email or you can drop comment and I'll check it out, and if I can help you. But once you're in Ireland, you have to be prepared that for about 3 weeks you're not going to be able to work until you get your so-called PPS number. So the PPS number is something very similar to Social Security number in the United States. So basically it's kind of an ID card with a special number that you have, and it's basically a number for you need it for everything. You need it for getting a job, you need it for everything really. Whenever you're filling out some kind of form, they're gonna ask for your PPS number. So you can get your PPS number, you can apply online, you can get an appointment online, and you can also see the list of things you need for that, depending on where you're coming from. You go, they take your picture, they obviously need to take your ID, which is your passport or whatever you have, and then it takes 2 weeks for that PPS number to get to you. Now for that you need already accommodations, so you need to find where you're going to stay first. So firstly, find a place to live. Secondly, apply online for a PPS card and number. And thirdly, you go, they take your picture, they put in everything in their system, and in 2 weeks you get your PPS card, which is great because that's the thing that you need to get everything sorted out. So be ready to wait about 3 weeks until you can get a legal job in Ireland. That of course doesn't bother people who don't mind working legally. It is possible, but you haven't heard that from me. You can work for cash if you're smart and if you're brave, but once you get caught, you're kind of fucked. So maybe don't do that. Maybe just wait for the 3 weeks to get your papers and so you can work legally. So that would be my advice, but you know, there's always ways around, and I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you that. But again, you haven't heard that from me. I said nothing. I have never worked for cash, ever. Once you wait out those 2 weeks, it's great because of 2 reasons. Well, first of all, you have your PPS number, which is great, you need it for everything. Secondly, because when you get the PPS number, you get a letter with it, which states your name and address on it. So with these 2 papers, you can go to the bank and open an account. Like until then, you can't open an account, unfortunately, because for you to open an account in Ireland, you need an ID, which can be your passport as well as your PPS card, whichever suits you, but you need a proof of address, which is kind of tricky to get because proof of address would be bank statement, or if you're paying Wi-Fi, you can go with that. But I personally went with the letter I got from the government, the revenue, with my PPS number, so it was great. Then everything is sorted out, then you opened your account, which is great. So the same day you get your PPS number, you can open your account. So what else? I think I've said it all. Now it's all very different if your spouse is an EU citizen and you are not. In that case, I haven't researched it much. In that case, once your spouse has to be here, they have to have a job, they have to rent, obviously, to prove that they can take care of you. And then you apply for a visa, which can be a very, very long process. And once you get your visa, you come and then you register with the revenue. Once you get here, you register with the police, I think, I'm not sure. And then they kind of process you as a spouse, reuniting, whatever it's called. And it takes about 4 months to be processed, so that one is way longer. So if that's your case, then you get ready for a long wait, like even for the visa, I'm pretty sure, because that thing doesn't go very fast here. Like we've been waiting for Salman to get tourist visa for over a year, so you can only imagine how much it would take to get actually something like that. I had no idea. So the good news is that we're done with the boring talk and we're here at the castle's like heart, I think. Let's just call it the castle's heart, but we're right here at the king's grave, which is behind me right there. So I'll show you now. So this is the king and that's the queen, and they're actually buried here with probably a ton of gold. I don't know if anyone stole the gold already. If this was in Serbia, someone would have already dug out the gold and be like, what gold? I don't know. What? I shouldn't really call it a funny story because the poor man died. But the river's name is the King's River because like it's kind of to give respect to the king, because the king actually drowned in that river while he was riding his horse. He was riding along, blah, 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 enjoying the sunny day probably, and the horse kicked him off and the king fell straight into the river. Leon, don't laugh, the poor man died. So the king fell straight into the river and drowned, which is kind of very sad because he actually was going to battles and all, like it was serious. He was very strong and he was a very tough man, and then he drowns. Like, I don't know, but if I was a king, I would much rather die in a battle than drown. Like, that's just so sad. Like, why was he even... This is a dead end. I thought this leads somewhere. Anyways, like, it's just not fair. Oh, I can go up there actually. I don't know if this is a step or not, but where I'm gonna use it as a step. Well, yeah, this is not really a step. So, the poor king fell into the river, drowned, and that's how he died. And that's why the river is called the King's River. Now, the more you know. This is too bright, but I'll still do it. Can't open my eye. Wait, I'll put on my sunglasses. So, it is a long process and it's kind of dreadful to get yourself sorted out in Ireland, but it's totally worth it because look, I'm lying in green grass, smelling the fresh air in the yard of a fucking medieval castle. How cool is that? Like, not everyone gets to live in an environment like that, so I think it's worth the hassle. So I really encourage you, if you're thinking about it, just do it. Don't think too much, just do it, just like I did. There's gonna be hard moments, but just do it. Just do it. Because like, it's worth it. So that's all for me. And I truly am serious about being here to help to anyone who is considering it and who has questions. So please do not be afraid to ask me questions. I've been here for 2 years now, so for basic stuff I'm sure I can help you. And sometimes, well, at least to me, I found the website's a bit too high level English. So when I'm reading it, I'm like, what do they mean? What is this whole thing about? Why can't they just speak common people English language, please? So I would be more than happy to help. So any question, guys, really any question, except like personal questions, because that's kind of not okay. Just feel free to just contact us on email or by dropping a comment if you want, because I'm pretty sure many questions loads of people are curious about, so maybe it's better if you just drop a comment so other people can read about it as well. I'll be more than happy to reply because I'm your rock. So if you have a question, just contact me. So that's all from your Ginger from Black & Ginger. I'm out now, going to enjoy my day without holding a camera, walking around in this green country, thinking of all you. Bye! Ooh. Oh, avoid sheep crab, avoid sheep crab, avoid sheep crab.